Hey guys, this is Umi here. I'm just out taking a stroll. Weather's pretty nice. And, in this video, I just wanted to talk about being perfect or perfectionism, especially in art. I tend to, in the past, I used to be so perfect. I tried to be perfect with making my art and just not wetting it or making a mistake. But it never really works out because being perfect, but nobody's perfect. Especially now, I've always made mistakes. Like right now, my phone's about to die. I just realized I forgot to charge it. And so now I'm just talking through my phone. And I just forget the words I want to say right when I start talking, but it doesn't matter. I've learned that over time. I've learned that it's not worth worrying about making mistakes and just doing the things you don't think you're good at and seeing where it goes. That's the best way when it comes to making art is to embrace your imperfections. And while there's nothing wrong with trying to be perfect or striving towards perfection, it's not worth trying to be perfect. And you could see a lot of that in my art. If you look closely, there's some mistakes I've made, and not only in art but in life. And even with this video, I just decided just to record myself talk and just say something. I usually don't do talking videos. And yeah, I think it's really cool that not only can I learn from my art, but I can also apply it to life in a more philosophical way. I think it's kind of cool that everybody tends to have a different faith in life. And personally, my faith comes from a more biblical background, so oftentimes when I think of being perfect, I think of someone very special, like Jesus. He's the most perfect person, and despite being perfect, he still faces trials, and even he was not liked or hated. So striving to be perfect or trying to be perfect when it comes to art, or in hopes of your art becoming just amazing as a result, is not worth something to worry about. And I struggled so much with being perfect, and there's days where when it comes to my art, it really gets me worked up when sometimes my art just doesn't look the way I want it to. And so naturally, I learned that loving the process is where truly where we should enjoy the moment, loving the process of just drawing and learning. That's the part where we should be focused on instead of trying to be perfect. So yeah. I'll talk a little bit about why. I also wanted to mention about what I do in my drawings. And in the past, I used to do a lot of pencil drawings, and back then, like I said before, I was too worried about my drawings being perfect. But over time, I've learned that, well, there's nothing wrong to strive to be perfect. I've learned that sometimes being imperfect, it's all part of what makes your art special. And ever since then, now that I've learned to slowly, even till now, I've been trying to learn to embrace not being perfect, not being where I should be, where I'm at. I start to feel more loose, and I start to grow more because I forgive myself of any mistakes. And this is super important for artists to not worry so much about being perfect and worry so much about the result, but remembering that one drawing or one piece of art or maybe one piece of music is just one of many kinds of art that you'll ever make throughout your entire life. So it's not worth spending so much time on making something too perfect, because most of our growth comes from the process and drawing more, but having a balance of the amount of how the quality of our art and the quantity of how much art we make. And I notice some artists who sometimes there's this feeling that as artists we tend to be very critical of how we draw, and then we end up hating our own art. And it's just a common feeling that every artist feel. Even the most professional artists I look up to still feel that way, even though to me they are just amazing artists. So I think it's a really comfortable thing to think that, and to know that if you're not satisfied with your art and you constantly find mistakes, then that means that there is always room for improvement. And that's a really healthy and good sign if you really plan to get better. So maybe one would worry if you stop seeing mistakes, because then that would stunt your growth. So even though I make art until now, I still see mistakes, whether someone else besides me sees them or not. And when I improvise in my drawings, I like to make stories, and that's something I'm learning about. If you notice, I tend to draw kind of spontaneously, and it really, I try to create characters, and I try to make those characters into move around and interact with each other, interact with objects or elements, and it just becomes a story, which is I think it's really cool to do that. And that's something I'm still learning how to do. I believe maybe I've been thinking of different ways to experiment and with how the story should be laid out. What should I draw or show? And yeah, well, that was about it. I kind of just started this recording out of the blue on a low battery, on just walking around, getting my exercise, taking a break from drawing, and just letting the creative juices flow. I highly recommend just taking a walk outside. Just make sure not if it's too cold or too hot. I personally like it when it's not too cold or too hot, but when it just feels just nice. But yeah, maybe I do want to do more talking videos, even though I don't really do talking stuff. I still try to experiment, even with things I don't feel comfortable doing, because I don't know if I'll feel comfortable doing it. And hopefully I'll make something you all enjoy. I honestly, with the way everything's going, like my channel, I'm not really sure where to go. I'm still kind of lost with what I should be posting or what should my channel be about. It's just kind of all over the place. Yeah. So I don't really expect much to come out of any of the videos I make. I'm just recording, throwing stuff out, seeing what sticks, and whatever my channel becomes, it becomes, if it becomes anything. And yeah, well, that's about it. Oh yeah, just to know, I've posted before some comic to draws that were actually from my TikTok. So I do have multiple platforms. I have TikTok, Instagram, and just TikTok and Instagram are the only two besides YouTube. And I'm messing around with TikTok. It's starting to change into more faith-based account. I'm experimenting with that, but I'm not really worried too much about, well, anything now. All I know is I just like to draw on, and it would be kind of cool to do this full time. I really don't know how that works other than posting. But for now, it's just a hobby. And yeah, I'll just see where that goes. I also believe a lot of my recordings are just a part of the process too, just like my art. So I'm treating even these talking videos as just part of a process. It's all just me learning and just trying out new things. If you're on the same boat, just learning, trying out something new or learning something new, or you want to improve, I highly recommend whatever you're doing, whether that's art or whether it's something else entirely different, just to give it a try. I suggest just give it a go at something that you don't know if you're really that good at, or you don't feel comfortable with, and just do it and not worry about anything. But yeah, that's the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day.